Okay, so before we start, just want to mention we're doing a live show.
Yeah, we are.
And you should all come down.
I think everyone should come down up to a certain number. Because we're doing it at the Pavilion in Reading, and we've got a certain number of seats. So on June 13th, which is a Wednesday night, you can come down, pay £3. I mean, you should probably pay the £3 beforehand and get your ticket.
Yeah.
And then you can sit down, you can watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit on the big screen, and then you can listen to us, do a live podcast.
And you can even get in.
Yeah, I know, exactly. That's 2 shows for one price.
And it's £3.
It's £3.
One price, 2 shows, £3.
Oh, it's amazing. There's numbers. It's great. If you want to get involved, you can go along to kaiju.fm/live. All the information's on there. Click the link. You can buy your tickets online. Or if you're in the Reading area, you can come down to the Nag's Head pub and you can buy them directly from us.
Yeah, so just to recap, that is June 13th at the Pavilion in Reading. It's £3.
£3.
Get in amongst it.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Hello, and welcome back to another supplementary episode of the Space Jam Continuum, the Tooniversal Glossary.
Tooniversal Glossary.
This is where we sort of just collate our thoughts from the last 10 episodes. If we've had some things we've had a bit more time to think about, but also just it's a handy recap, and it's good for if you want to join the podcast late.
Yeah, I mean, like we do advise maybe going back and listen to the Tooniversal Glossaries, get yourself caught up. And then, in your own time, go back and listen to all of the shows. Because it does make a lot more sense. The Tooniversal Glossaries are good, but we only have a certain amount of time, and we talk about a lot of things throughout all the episodes.
These are really just brief recaps and overviews. We don't discuss everything in detail.
No.
It's just a place to bring you up to speed.
Yeah.
So, Cal, you've got the list.
I have got
this
the
is,
list.
Genuinely the most preparation we ever do for anything at all.
Yeah, we write a list.
We write a list. Every 10 episodes.
Every 10
episodes we write a list.
What's that, like 8 things?
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Preparation, 8 things to talk about. So, top of the bill, Porky third. Despot Porky.
Okay, so Despot Porky over the last 10 episodes. Well, I guess at the start of the last 10 episodes, he was sort of in a sort of unstable situation.
Yeah,
he's been increasingly mad. He has his nation state of Porkytopia.
Yeah,
which he's filled with businesses that bear his name.
Yeah, and lookalikes.
People who look like him running them.
Yeah.
Due to stave off assassination attempts, which at this point are near constant.
Yeah, I mean that's perfectly understandable because he needs taking down. I'm not necessarily saying he needs assassinating, but he needed taking down.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a good place he was in. It wasn't healthy for him. It wasn't healthy for anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an untenable situation, and I think a lot of people were probably regretting their previous decision to oust Porky the Fourth in favour of Porky the Third.
Yeah, I had a soft spot for Porky the Third because he was the one that we were with the whole way through.
Yeah.
But then he just started doing unforgivable things, and it was like, maybe Porky the Fourth wasn't that bad.
And I think the incident where they basically took Porky the Fourth out of the picture.
Yeah.
Was probably the point where he started going a bit mad with power.
Yeah, I think he realised he could get away with stuff.
That actually people will do these things for him.
Yeah. Like, he can make people disappear.
And, it was a corrupting influence on him.
Yeah.
And he got a taste for it. He
did, and he then, started running his own court out of his own farm, and it went from there. Like that was the first time we saw him. We were like, "Oh, is he making his own little state in his farm?"
Full on, like kangaroo court.
Yeah,
and it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
So that has led us over the course of these episodes through various assassination attempts, various attempts by agency operatives and others to remove him from that seat of power, including quite a few operations by Daffy.
Yeah, like Daffy gets
friend.
involved, and I think he wants to be involved because it's like, no, like this is my mate. I'm gonna go and
he's gonna try and sort it out.
If somebody's got to deal with it, I want it to be me.
Yeah, and he didn't do a great job of that.
But I mean, it's Daffy.
Yeah,
so he was never really going to do a great job of it. I don't know why they put so much trust in him.
Who else?
Well,
who have they got? Really?
I don't know, because I mean, the thing is that at the time, like Bugs wasn't really.
Yeah, but also, like, we were expecting Bugs, I think, to be a little more of a righteous force than he actually is.
Yeah.
He's got his own shit going on.
He has.
He's no agency stooge.
No.
Like,
no, not at all.
He's doing his own thing. It's surprising that it was Daffy who stepped up. Out of all the people we have available, it's Daffy, like the wild card.
I know,
loose cannon, who's the only one who's really concerned.
Yeah,
like he's the one who's going, look, we've got to, we've got to buck our ideas up. We've got to sort this out.
Yeah.
So that has led to the reinstatement of Porky the Fourth.
It has.
Who until now was on the lam in Mexico.
Yeah. And we actually saw Daffy go down and get him, didn't we?
Did he go to Mexico and get him?
I'm sure in one of the episodes we see Daffy go and get Porky the Fourth.
I mean, I remember deciding the point where that had happened. I don't remember seeing it, but like we might have done...
Maybe I've just done that thing where I've made it up in my head. We do
that. I'm having one of those headaches with pictures.
Yeah. Oh god. And the nosebleed. That's worrying. Yeah. So like now we've got Porky the Fourth, and the way they did it was quite interesting. So they disappeared Porky the Third.
Yeah,
like they just made him disappear, and then
we're not sure he's dead.
No,
he might not be dead.
No,
in fact, I increasingly believe he is not.
I genuinely think he's not. But they brought in Porky the Fourth, and then they started redoing episodes that Porky the Third was in. With Porky the Fourth
and maybe some other amendments. So like Gabby Goat was sometimes swapped out for Daffy.
Yeah.
And I think they were basically just trying to, like the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Like where, just a large community of people just remembers and believes something to be true and to have happened.
Yes.
And it just didn't.
Yeah, it was just
incorrect. I think they're basically trying to make it seem like that's what your mind is doing when you remember those other episodes.
Yeah.
So you remember early Porky the Fourth episodes a certain way, and then they make another episode similar enough that you go, oh no, this is the episode, and you're right, it was Daffy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was always Daffy.
It was always Daffy.
Yeah, and it's not unless you actually go back and watch the other one, you're like, oh no, this one is the earlier one, and that Porky is different.
But it's interesting because it's serious political spin at this point. It's like they're erasing.
Well, I think it's because they know how important Porky is, to the Tooniverse.
There's got to be a Porky.
Yeah, and to how the Tooniverse is seen from our side of the portal.
Yeah, it's really a universal relations thing.
Yeah, it's like we have to have a Porky.
Yeah, there needs to be a Porky, and people need to be able to get behind that.
Yeah, they need to be able to rally behind that Porky, and there was no way that they would be doing that with Porky the Third when he was the way he was at the end.
Yeah, especially in a time of war.
Yeah, like the war plays quite a major part in these last 10 episodes.
Yeah. So like, there's definitely Axis forces in the Tooniverse.
Yes.
Now it's not just up until these last 10 episodes, it's been a lot of like them showing support for
just like propaganda and
effort.
Just going recycle your metal and all that sort of stuff. But
now there's definitely Axis forces in the Tooniverse.
Yeah.
Like we've seen them. Like Bugs Bunny had a bit of a to-do in Japan.
He did. I like how you call that a bit of a to-do.
A bit of a to-do.
Makes it sound so nice.
Bit of a to-do involving chalk ices and hand grenade. We'll get to that, I'm sure. But both Bugs and Daffy have had run-ins with Adolf himself.
Yeah. He's made the jump over, and we actually like we saw some of the other big players as well spending a bit too long in the Tooniverse.
Goebbels and
Goering as
well were in there. I can't remember which one of them's gone green. One of them spent too much time.
I think it was Goebbels that went green.
I think it's Goebbels.
Yeah, and he just hung around a bit too long.
Yeah, so we start to see the effects on if you hang out in the Tooniverse too long.
You start going a bit weird.
You start going a bit weird. In this case, green. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the war efforts become more direct. There's another theatre of war, basically, the Tooniversal Theater of War.
Yeah.
Bugs has killed a lot of people.
Yeah, so like Bugs, I was really anticipating when he came in. I was like, okay, good. We've got the virtuous, the Captain America of all of the Tooniversal pantheon.
It's a no. That's not what's happened.
No,
at all.
Not at all. He is just. I was like, oh god, he's maybe one of the most evil characters, and I mean until Tweety turned up, but he started doing things, and it was like, this isn't Bugs. This isn't you, mate. What are you playing at? No, so I don't really know where to place him, because he's jumping around his own timeline, a lot, and so younger versions of himself seem to be doing kind of bad things, and then older versions of himself also seem to be doing bad things. But it's like, has he got an agenda? And what is that agenda? Why is he doing these things?
He's definitely working in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
and he's going out of his way. There's a lot of situations he's been in where he does not he does not have any plausible business being there. He's gone there for a specific purpose, and I mean, there's a fair bit to talk about with Bugs' powers as well, but I mean, have you gotten any closer to working out what he's trying to do?
Not really. I mean,
mainly been through run-ins with Elmer and later Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, and I mean, he also, by all accounts, is responsible for creating the ghost of Willoughby. As to what reason, we know not, but he has a purpose, and it's very easy to go, okay, well, it's probably all to do with Space Jam. He's probably coming back to make sure that things go right for Space Jam.
Yeah, he's setting it up. He's making sure everything's in the right place.
Yeah, he's making sure that people have the right inputs in their past, so that they get the right output in their future.
Some of those things I can see directly how they feed to that.
Yeah.
So, most of his stuff with Elmer, I can see how that would feed towards making sure that Elmer's path leads to him helping out in 1996.
Yeah.
And the same with Yosemite Sam. I can see how that directly feeds in. There was one episode where it was on a desert island, and there were two just dudes who he really needed to not leave that desert island.
Yeah, and we don't know why. And there was also the episode with the making of the the superpower potion.
The super carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
went in there and did something
stop that happening to stave off some sort of terrible future.
It's possible that he just didn't want there to be a super fluid kicking about that you could just give to people and give them superpowers.
Well, I was wondering, because I was wondering if Space Jam's maybe an absolute inevitability, and
it's a fixed point in time.
Yeah, so in The Time Machine, where he's trying to save his wife.
Yes.
But she'll always just die in a different way.
Yes,
she will always die.
Yeah.
No matter what he does. And I'm wondering if Space Jam's a bit like that, but it would happen for different reasons. So, if the super carrot had been created, it would happen a lot sooner, and he doesn't have time to get everybody.
Yeah, everybody's not ready.
The hideous super mutants at basketball.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be aliens.
No.
It would be whatever super mutants were created by the super carrot.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I need more time, so I've got to stave off Space Jam till 1996. So some of these things I think might be just ways of making sure he has enough time to get everybody together before
and
they're challenged to a
and
game
make
of
sure.
basketball for the planet Earth.
Yeah, well, no, that makes sense, and it does.
Does it?
Yes, alarmingly, it does. I mean, at least to me, but I'm fully on board. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see how he carries on with it, because we know that's going to happen. We know Space Jam is a fixed thing that is going to happen. But we also don't know if some of the bugs that we're seeing are post Space Jam.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Is there something else going to happen bigger than Space Jam?
Because we've seen bugs jumping around in time. So just before the last one of these episodes, when we first saw bugs basically time travel, and the extent of that has been increasing.
Yeah,
to the point where we've often seen bugs from two different times in the same episode.
Yeah, that was
borderline on screen together.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Speaking of the powers, since then also Elmer has gained some powers, and he's slowly realizing that he has those.
Yeah. So there's been a transfer of powers between Bugs and Elmer, and Elmer to Bugs as well, because Bugs now has hypnosis.
Yeah. So they're both powerful beings. It's just that Bugs is getting to grips with it a little quicker.
Yeah, he seems more fully aware of it, which is understandable, because I mean, Elmer, from his egghead past, he struggles with base concepts, I think.
Yeah, and while we're talking about powers and gaining powers, worth quickly mentioning, we think Daffy sort of works a bit like Rogue in X-Men.
Yeah. He has the ability to absorb
people's powers, because
he seems to keep them.
Yeah, he seems to keep them. That's the difference.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have to kill the Toon to keep it. He just seems to has to have the power used on him, and then he can turn into lightning and fly around and things like that. Yeah, he can use that as travel, which is interesting, because at first we were thinking that the different kind of top level Toons had their own ways of travelling. So Bugs is in soil. We assumed that Daffy was through water.
Daffy has this weird flying thing.
He has the ability to swim through air. So
he just floats. He's not flying.
He doesn't flap.
He just is in the sky.
Yeah. Whereas now he can travel as lightning form as well.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that coming in for various characters. Any more bug stuff apart from? Well, I guess.
Well, I mean,
talk about Willoughby.
Yeah, the Willoughby bit. So, like Willoughby was, as far as we were concerned, an ancient ghost of a dog which was going around inhabiting other dogs to finish unfinished business.
Yeah.
He's quantum leaping.
Yeah, he was quantum leaping.
But
hoping the next dog could be the dog home.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
It never is.
Because turns out he needs a human.
So yeah, that's the interesting development there. Well, I mean, most of the Willoughby plotline, which has actually been fairly prominent over the last 10 episodes, has been him inhabiting different dogs and trying to just get this shit done. He seems to have to do something before he can move on to the next.
Yeah.
The next dog.
Yeah.
But we found out that he wasn't a dog in the first place.
No, he was Red Hot Rider.
Red Hot Rider.
And he was murdered by Bugs.
In 1864 or something.
Yeah. And again, we can only
So Red
presume...
Hot Rider was I don't know, he's kind of a little goofy, ginger cowboy guy.
Yeah, he was kind of like an early Yosemite Sam, but, not mental with guns.
Yeah, he was a bit more
yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. That sort of, yeah. But he ended up murdered by Bugs, and probably he was buried in a hole.
Yeah,
with
he's
his
buried
horse.
alive in a hole.
Yeah,
and that's not the only time Bugs has done that either.
No, it's not.
He does it to old Elmer.
Yeah, but Elmer, he can get out.
Yeah,
whereas Red Hot Rider didn't.
Red Hot Rider died down that hole.
Yeah.
And why did Bugs do this? Again, we don't know.
No.
But Red Hot Rider is the ghost that has been moving
from dog to dog.
And we still don't really know what he'll have to do to get out. But when
Yeah.
he does, like, he's gonna have some words with bugs, I reckon.
I should imagine so.
Right.
Like, I should imagine he will, because
Although we've seen some sort of fluctuation in his cognitive capacity, like whether he'll even be able to remember.
Well, no, like,
Because I reckon bugs is his unfinished business.
you think what he needs to kill bugs?
I reckon he needs to kill bugs,
Maybe.
or at least like hash it out in some way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one we're going to really have to keep an eye on, I think, with Willoughby.
Yeah.
Like, he seems like quite a prominent character. He keeps cropping up.
Yeah, which is interesting because like before we started doing this, like I had never heard of Willoughby.
No, but apparently I've seen some of the episodes. So, well, I mean, I've seen quite a lot of them now. But I must have seen some when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Must have.
yeah. I just don't remember. But then because he's always a different dog.
Yeah. So you just don't.
So
It's just
he's not a
dog.
visually recognizable character.
No.
Whereas now, like he's become like kind of a massive part of what our Tooniversal universe is.
The law of the place. Yeah.
Is going on, which I didn't expect.
I really like when we first introduced to Willoughby. I did not expect him to become such a prominent character.
Yeah,
and to play such a huge role.
So yeah, the ancient ghost that is Willoughby and Red Hot Rider.
Yeah,
is one to watch.
It is. Looking at our list, there's not much left on there that I think's really kind of happened.
What's the one there, second from the bottom, that I can't read?
That one,
yeah,
just says Adolf.
Yeah, Adolf's there, so we covered Adolf.
Yeah,
he's
so
been
but like talking about Adolf, what that does lead us to quite nicely is the portal technology and how it is now being used and harnessed to a certain degree. It's not just the natural occurring portal that started this whole thing.
Yeah, because so we know the agency has a portal, and we know that the Germans have at least one.
Yeah.
So
we assume the Japanese have one.
We're assuming we know the Japanese have one.
Yeah.
So it's becoming more prominent. Like they've clearly had scientists working on it,
studying the technology and making it work.
It's also like, at least in the Tooniverse, becoming like really common knowledge. Like in that last episode, a dog just popped up in front of the thing and said, "I'm not meant to be in this one. Yeah, I'm not missing this chance." And like, I think it's become commonplace enough that people consider it like a way to their sort of 15 minutes of fame. Yeah, where they just like I was saying, like just when you're wandering around in the background because there's TV cameras around somewhere.
Just
you
so
go,
you're on telly.
They're filming down the road, and I'll get on the telly. They get on the portal.
Yeah. So I think that's it. I mean, like, as far as we're concerned from our side of it, like it's still just seen as, this is just a show. Yeah.
But also the Tooniverse seems more casual in their use of the portal technology. Like it was used just to be to make a spacious club car.
It was, yeah, on the train. They're just we'll have a portal through to their
Whereas
world.
I think the agency on our side's being a lot more cautious, and that's, I think, because Toons crossing unsupervised into our universe early
had
on
some negative effects.
Had some serious negative effects that we're still feeling for at least. I mean, I think we got up to about mid 1945 in that last episode. So, we're going to be feeling for at least 3 or 4 more months worth of Tooniversal portal use.
Yeah. It is interesting that the amount of use that the portal technology is getting.
It'll be interesting, the war being over.
It will be. I wonder how much.
Change.
I wonder how much more, kind of like how much longer it'll go on in the Toon world. Because I mean, it ended here, but did it necessarily end as quickly in the Toon?
Yeah, and
universe?
Like, will there be as prolonged an effect in the Tooniverse?
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, the end of the Second World War pretty much marked the beginning of the Cold War in our universe.
Yeah, it did.
And it'll be interesting to see if the effects are similar in the Tooniverse.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out, because then we do have the Cold War to deal with. But we're going to be getting that. Next few episodes, we'll probably see the end of the World War II and progression into the Cold War.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting
Yes, it will.
Venom, is there anything else on the list?
Nah, mate, list's empty now.
It's not empty. It's just we've done the stuff.
Oh, right. Okay, so the list's as full as it was, but I think we've finished off all of the things
Okay.
on it.
Okay, good. I guess that's the Tooniversal Glossary for now then.
Yeah, I think it is. I think we've covered, well, not everything, but we've given a good run-up.
Yeah. Anything that you guys, think of that might be interesting for us to consider, or that you've noticed and we might have screwed up, please find us on the Twitter at TSJ Community, or just email us at the Space Jam Continuum at gmail.com.
Yeah, they're both good ways of getting in contact.
And get involved in the discussion, because we'd love to hear what you think. And especially when it comes to these sorts of episodes where we're really collating our thoughts, it's just I realise simultaneously how much we have covered and also, how much we haven't.
Yeah, the things we definitely miss out quite a lot, but there's no way we could keep this short.
Because every time we do one of these, I look at all the we go back and we look at the episode descriptions to try and remember the precise arc of what's happened in the last 10 episodes, and I love reading them. I just love
they are hilarious.
I
Take
love
them out
how
of context.
just looking at 10 weeks ago how confident I was about something, and that's what's going on. And I'd love to read some that someone else has come up with.
I want to see some real confident statements from people.
Yeah, as if it's absolute fact.
Yeah, this is what's going on. You guys have got it wrong, and we're open to that. We're open to the fact that we've got stuff wrong, but we just need to hear from you guys.
Absolutely,
correct us.
So get involved, and obviously the best way to do that also. Fast approaching is our first live show.
Yes.
On June 13th. We're going to be doing Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because it's set in 1947 and will be in 1947 for our first birthday. So
there you go.
Come down to that. It's 13th of June at the Pavilion in Reading. We'll be showing Who Framed Roger Rabbit and then recording a live episode so you can get directly involved and be on the podcast. So
it'll be amazing. It's £3 entry as well.
£3 entry.
So cheap.
Get yourself over to kaiju.fm/live and get your tickets for that, because we'd love to see you.
Yeah, we would.
And
I think
that's about it.
I think that is about it. We'll see you on the next episode, I guess.
We'll see you on Wednesday for episode 41.
Oh, it's big.
Until then, have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.